Hi, I'm Margaret, and welcome to Garden School. Well, I've spent a little bit more time indoors as the days are getting shorter, and I noticed that I have a couple of house plants that need some attention, and they need it quickly. Let's go and take a look at my spath plants, the peace lily. Wow, as you can see, these leaves are so limp and sad looking. This one a little bit better, but still it's not looking that great. And I even had some dry leaves that were down below. That wasn't very good. I feel embarrassed. But you know what? This kind of stuff happens, and for a good reason. Also, when I lifted up the pot out of the decorative container it was in, it was very, very light. And I suspect that I have just let these things get too dry, let them try to exist with too low of humidity. And I'm going to tip them out and see what we find in the soil and around the roots. Now, Spathiphyllum or peace lily are tropical plants, and that means they like to have, they don't like cold temperatures or cold water, but they do like a high percentage of humidity. Now you can see from these roots, the soil is just dropping off. It is so very, very dry. So I have a little bit of work to do to moisten up some planting medium and to repot these. I don't believe that they were pot bound, but I do think that I need to focus a little bit more on hydrating these peace lilies and giving them a high humidity. Well, as I dumped out the potting medium, I discovered that the bottom third was relatively moist. It wasn't wet, and there was no sign of no danger of the soil causing any rot in the plants. But that bottom part was reasonable, but the top 2/3 just extremely dry. Now the medium that I have here is pretty lightweight, and it looks like it has peat moss or maybe cocoa fiber in it, so it should hold moisture reasonably well. Now, something else I did was just for maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, I'm just soaking these roots. I don't want to drown them, but I do want to just try and revive them just a little bit. So I'm just giving them a little bit of refreshing water, and then I'm going to replant them in the same containers, but I'm going to use a moistened potting medium. Okay, we got them potted up again in some moist soil, and I've added a little bit of extra moisture. And now I'm doing this outside so that I can, maybe let the water run out the container without having a problem. You might want to do this in your, bathtub, or make a place in the shower where you can do this, and it doesn't matter if you get a little bit of excess water running out. Now I did notice one thing here, and that is that on some of these leaves the very tip is brown, and this leaf actually looks pretty yellow. That's not a great sign. But here's another one. The tip is brown. Now when you have browning tips on a plant, it usually means something is going on with the water, because the very root tips are noticing either lack of water or way too much water, and that's how the plant will oftentimes respond. Now I may take some of these off, but overall I want to leave leaves on, even though it might not be a perfect looking leaf, so that it can continue to produce chlorophyll for the strength of the plant. Now I have a little spray bottle here, and I'm just going to work on cleaning these up outside here, and I put a little tiny bit of all-purpose plant food in there, which I can also moisten the soil really well. pots in the decorative container that I'm gonna want to be using in the house. And I will notice something here, that when I put the pots in there, they are quite a bit heavier than when I lifted them out. And that is because of the water that the soil is now holding. That is something that's going to be a key to me. Occasionally pick it up, see if it's too light, and then give it the water it needs. Now that we're into the fall and the forced air heat is coming on in the house, I'm really going to need to watch this. It is not too close to a heat vent, but I will want to watch it. Another thing is, it is in an east-facing window. That's probably a good idea, where it won't get too hot from solar radiation. And another thing is that I have space in between here where I'm going to put a little jar of water, and I'm going to leave that water in there, and that should just through evaporation provide a little increased humidity for this. Well, I think I'm going to let this thing just try to recover for a little bit, and we'll come back and take a look, see if it is recovering. Wow, what a difference a day and a little water makes. These two peace lilies are doing really well, thanks to the treatment that we gave them with some extra hydration and increased humidity. Well, I'm so happy about my peace lilies that seem to have revived. Now, if this occurs again, I need to be more disciplined. Well, I know I need to be more disciplined, paying attention to the hydration and the humidity that this plant needs. Something I may want to think about is adding something like vermiculite to the potting medium. That vermiculite, it will help retain moisture in the soil, so that could help. But my first my first change is to pay more attention and to water it more. Well, we all need to stay hydrated, including our plants. There's always more to learn in the garden. Bye-bye.